In this episode of Brand for Good, I'm breaking down the most important marketing shifts shaping 2026. What's changing in B2B, what's driving B2C, and what boutique business owners and nonprofit leaders need to focus on now if they want growth that actually lasts. We'll talk about AI, personalization, community, and why, more than ever, what other people say about your brand matters more than what you say about yourself. If you're exhausted from chasing trends and ready to build credibility that compounds, you'll find your next steps right here. Welcome to Brand for Good, the show for purpose-driven leaders who want to build timeless brands and create sustainable impact. I'm Lorraine Sugart, former PR and marketing executive turned founder of the disruptive agency Prosper for Purpose. I've worked with some of the world's most beloved brands, and I'm here to help you elevate your brand identity, visibility, influence, and impact. Are you ready to brand for good? Let's go. Welcome to Brand for Good. Let me start by saying this clearly. 2026 isn't just another year of incremental change. It's a reset year. We're watching algorithms reward credibility over volume, trust over tactics, and clarity over consistency. And that's good news for leaders who offer real value, but it doesn't mean that things are getting easier or faster. The work still takes time. The difference is where that effort needs to go. We've already seen AI reshape copy and content production. Now it's reshaping discovery, amplification, and decision-making itself. Today, I'm walking you through the major marketing shifts shaping 2026 across 4 categories: B2B, boutique businesses, B2C, and nonprofit organizations. What's interesting is that there are themes here that apply to you regardless of the type of organization you lead. So stay with me until the end, because I'll also close with the biggest unifying shift that affects everyone. We're going to start with the B2B marketing shifts. And the first one is buyer enablement. You're going to hear the phrase buyer enablement everywhere this year. At its core, buyer enablement means marketing exists to help buyers make good decisions, not just to notice you. Most B2B buyers now complete the majority of their research before they ever talk to a salesperson or a leader of any kind. Various studies put that number between 60 and 70%. That means your website, messaging, and content aren't supporting the sale anymore. They are the buying experience. So what does this mean in practice? Buyers want to understand if you can solve their problem, how your solution actually works, what working with you feels like, and very often what the investment looks like. If your messaging avoids clarity in the name of being clever or evasive, buyers won't wait to be convinced. They will move on. And so here's an example. A B2B services firm that hides their pricing, avoids specificity, and relies on sales calls to explain their value is now at a disadvantage. That curiosity factor that used to rule is no longer at play. People want the information when they want it. And if you're telling them they have to get on a call for more information, they're just not interested. But a firm that clearly explains its approach, outlines the outcomes, and sets expectations enables buyers to move forward with confidence. And big brownie points here if you include pricing. Buyer enablement isn't about giving everything away. It's about reducing the friction and building trust before a conversation ever happens. Shift 2 in B2B is AI-powered personalization and predictive insight. This shift is not about AI writing blog posts. It's about AI recognizing buyer intent. It's not about that smarter content. It's about smarter timing based on where someone is in your customer journey. AI tools can now identify behavior patterns, what someone's reading, how often they return, which problems they're exploring, and when their activity signals readiness. But here's the critical distinction: AI can identify patterns, it cannot interpret meaning. That is still the human part of the work. And in practice, this means that AI will help teams understand when to engage, but humans have to decide how to engage. For example, if a buyer repeatedly engages with content about compliance risk over a short period of time, AI can flag rising intent. A human led response interprets that signal and responds with context, relevance, and care, not the standard generic pitch. The strongest B2B brands will use AI to inform judgment, not replace it. Shift three is account based marketing, often called ABM. And this is no longer a specialized tactic, it's now a best practice. ABM treats individual accounts as markets of their own, aligning marketing and sales around specific decision makers. This means that precision now beats volume. Putting this in practice, be sure that your messaging is tailored, not broadcast. Teams align around shared priorities, and your relevance replaces reach. An example here is, instead of generating thousands of low quality leads, a B2B firm can focus on 25 ideal accounts, developing customized messaging, content, and outreach strategies for each. It's redirected energy. ABM reflects how B2B buying actually happens through trust and long term relationships. Now, before I move over into B2C, I want to spend a moment talking to solopreneurs and boutique business owners. I know that many of you listening are consultants, coaches, creatives, and service providers, founders running on lean teams, right? You're not enterprise B2B, you're not mass market B2C. You grow through trust, reputation, and relationships. Here is what I advise you to do. Number one, focus on positioning over presence. Most boutique businesses don't have a visibility problem, they have a positioning problem. I see this every day in my work. Being everywhere is not the goal. Leading with purpose, having a unique perspective on your industry, a surprising skill or experience that you bring to your work, these are the things that differentiate you. Being everywhere is no longer the goal. Being known for something is. Number two, build niche, community, and referral momentum. Growth doesn't come from algorithms, it comes from people, small communities, peer networks, and referral ecosystems. An example is that meeting for coffee, whether it's a virtual coffee or in person, often does more for the growth of a business than drafting another social post. Find a network you like. Join to serve, not to sell. Givers are winners, I like to say. And then the third thing for my boutique business leaders is learn to be a strong storyteller. Your brand story isn't fluff. It helps people understand who you are, what you stand for, and whether and how you can help them. So your story should include your origin story about why you started your business, customer stories that show how you solve problems, belief stories that illustrate what you stand for, and transformation stories that prove how your product or service creates positive impact. These stories build a powerful brand that people trust and feel connected to. If you're listening right now and thinking, this makes sense, but I'm not sure I can do this on my own, I've got you. That's why I built the Category of One Brand Lab. The lab is where established service providers, creatives, coaches, and mission driven leaders turn expertise into a distinctive personal brand that leads their market. You'll learn timeless strategy, proven frameworks, and what's working now inside a supportive ecosystem. You'll find the link to learn more about the Brand Lab in the show notes. Now let's talk about B2C marketing shifts. The first one is AI driven discovery meets human connection. AI is now the front door of discovery. Summaries, recommendations, and search results increasingly shape what consumers see first. This creates tension. The more automated discovery becomes, the more people crave human connection. What this means is your content now has two jobs. First, it must be legible to machines, which includes having clear headlines, straightforward language, and answers to real questions. Second, once someone finds you, your content must feel human. Real stories, a clear point of view, and emotional resonance. Clarity gets you found, humanity gets you chosen. Shift two is creator and community led trust. Trust is moving away from brands and towards people. Creators and communities now act as trust bridges. An example is a brand that invites audiences into their process rather than presenting polished perfection. Build loyalty that advertising can't buy. Shape culture, not just conversion. And if you want to check out a brand that does this really well, check out Fount's Instagram. Fount is a leather company owned by husband and wife, Philip and Jackie Wachter. They produce durable quality leather goods. Jackie takes the lead role in the company's social and even has her own Instagram handle at Fount Jackie. Okay, shift three is authentic storytelling over perfect branding. Perfect branding is losing influence. Filters, polish, and perfection no longer outperform honesty and realism. People want brands that feel human, not manufactured. Mel Robbins is a great example. If you're not already following her, check out her content. And now let's look at nonprofit marketing shifts. Many of you probably don't know this, but before starting Prosper for Purpose in 2013, I had spent half my career working at nonprofit organizations and the other half in corporate. So I come to this conversation with experience, both as an employee and as someone who has served on numerous nonprofit boards. Nonprofit marketing, much like nonprofit fundraising, is stewardship. It's about building relationships with donors, partners, and communities, especially in a time of reduced government support. Shift one is personalized donor engagement. According to nonprofit research from the Nonprofit Marketing Guide and Giving USA, personalized donor communication significantly increases retention. While this shift also applies to business, it's especially important for nonprofits. Donors stay where they feel known, not just thanked. And while major gift officers have been doing this for years, it's time to look at donors down the giving pyramid. Personalized engagement means understanding why someone gives, acknowledging how they engage, and responding in ways that reflect their relationship to the mission. An example is a donor who consistently engages with education programs. That person should be receiving updates and invitations aligned with that interest rather than general appeals. Shift two is community and digital engagement. Donors want participation, not just transactions. Digital engagement creates year round connection. And please hear me on this important point. Technology doesn't replace relationships, it helps nonprofits care better. An example here is virtual briefings, storytelling updates, and feedback loops. These invite donors into the life of the mission without requiring a donation every time. Technology helps nonprofits notice patterns humans miss, track preferences, so leaders can access details at scale. It does not replace human relationships. Gratitude and empathy are uniquely human functions. Shift 3 is transparency and impact storytelling. Multiple studies across the nonprofit sector, including analysis surfaced by organizations like Charity Navigator, point to a consistent pattern. Donors give again when they clearly understand the direct impact of their gift. Transparency today goes beyond the facts and figures to sharing progress and challenges, showing cause and effect, and telling impact as an ongoing story. So, here, instead of relying solely on annual metrics, donors should be receiving real time impact storytelling that bridges the gap between data and belief. Stories that connect their gifts to outcomes. Transparency builds trust, trust sustains giving. So, as I close this episode, here's the unifying shift I mentioned in the beginning and your important takeaways from this episode. Across every category, one truth stands out: credibility compounds. In an AI driven world, credibility is increasingly outsourced. AI surfaces what others say about you, media mentions, reviews, and partnerships, not just your own content. That means the paradigm has flipped from visibility fueling trust to trust fueling visibility. 2026 isn't another year of incremental changes. It's about the right reset, clarity, credibility, and alignment. The brands that win in 2026 aren't going to be the ones that distribute the most content. They're going to be the ones that share personal stories, are cited by third parties, and are believed by the people they're here to serve. If this episode helped you focus where it matters most, I invite you to explore the Category of One Brand Lab at categoryofOneBrandLab.com/lab. You can find the link in the show notes. And thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Brand for Good. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Brand for Good show. If you like what you heard, please hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and leave a review so other purpose-driven leaders can find this valuable content. To learn more about building a brand for good, please visit prosperforpurpose.com for more resources and information on all the ways you can work with us.